Okay, we all right? We're getting close?
Close.
Almost there.
Hi, I'm Adrian Vilov. I'm the founder and head programmer here at the Cinefamily. LA's latest and greatest nonprofit Cinematheque. And this month we've been devoting our Friday nights to a series of tributes to some of the greatest actors that aren't the leading men, not those anonymously good-looking, vague people that you're supposed to identify with who have no character whatsoever, but the real people we identify with, the character actors. And there isn't a harder working man in show business than the man we're about to meet. He's been in almost 200 movies. He's been fantastic in almost all of them. He really gives us all time again. Please give a big round of applause to Mr. Emmet Walsh. So we're going to talk a little bit, and just so you guys know, I pulled a couple clips. You may be wondering where some of his best remembered or best performances are. We're going to save them and play a couple throughout the night so we can continue the conversation that way. But first, let's talk about that amazing Ebert moment. I don't know how many of you guys know about it. Roger Ebert coined the Emmet Walsh rule, which was that no movie that contained a performance by Harry Dean Stanton or Emmet Walsh could be altogether bad, which they then rescinded because of Wild Wild West. But do you remember when that came up, and how do you feel about that? Talking to the mic.
The Ebert thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it came out of no place, and it was very nice. Everybody quoted or used it or something. Now, now Ebert's got no larynx, and the other guy's dead, so so it's kind of hard to keep pushing it forward. It's like saying, I did Birth of a Nation, and no one's got.
But I mean, so what? Now, you've said some interesting things about being a character actor. That basically your job is to kind of come in and really bring something to life in a film. And to often to play against someone who's supposedly the star, and how do you do that? How do you face off against Robert Redford or something and make sure that you have the force necessary?
Well, the first thing is money. What it is, my job, of course, film. There's 110 of my movies now. But that doesn't have anything to do with stage or all the television, all the other stuff. I've been doing it now for over 50 years, but. My job is to come in and move the story along. I'm a character man. I'm doing the stars don't do the exposition. I have to do the exposition. Tell you that we're at the funeral parlor. This is Maud's going to come down. All this stuff's going to happen, and so I come on with a Redford or a Newman or Dustin or somebody, and I throw the ball to them. And they throw it back, and it starts to become that tennis match, back and forth. And that's what makes the dynamics of the whole thing. Now, if these guys see me coming in, they are getting up. They aren't going to let me kill them. They're not going to let me take it over. If I go on there with an actor that's not ready or can't do it, you're not going to watch it. I will steal the whole thing off of them. And not deliberately, but to balance it out. I mean, it is, it's like playing tennis with someone that constantly, you can't return the ball. And I'm brought in to move it forward. They don't want an Emmet Walsh. They want a bus driver. They want a cop. They want this. They don't want an Emmet Walsh cop. I just try to sublimate myself and get in there and do it.
But there's a lot of freedom there because you don't have to. You can go as far as you want with that particular part. You don't have to be concerned about consistency or taking the movie too far in any particular direction.
Well,
you can be funny. You can be weird.
I don't know. I don't want you to see Emmet Walsh. I want you to see a goofball or a frustrated lover, or a killer, or something. Character actor is what? I don't know what a character actor is. It's just, just something I gyrated into and do. I mean, I think of myself as a romantic lead, and I don't know what the hell it was. I used to say way back, if the movie opened and Jamie Lee Curtis was madly in love with me, and I was madly in love with her. You knew I was dead in 7 minutes, and she'd spend the next hour and a half looking for the killer. You know, that was the whole thing. But Dustin came along, and there became character leads. You know, a long time it was. But I would have been in the 30s and 40s and 50s. I would have been a contract player at one of the studios. You know, and doing anything that came along. And that's basically what I've done, and what I do. I've said enough.
I actually think a good way to kick the night off in a way would be to play an early. What is your background? I know you're from Vermont. You went to theater school in New York.
My father and grandfather were U.S. Customs officers on the Vermont-Quebec border. My brother was U.S. immigration on that border. 3 generations trying to keep the frogs out. I grew up. I like that. I grew up 56 miles from Montreal on Lake Champlain. I was president of my senior class in high school. 10 girls and 3 boys. You know, I come from the big time. And I went to college in northern Vermont, northern New York State, and have a degree in marketing, a BBA with a major in marketing. Marketing and sales. I am the product. I had to learn how to sell it. I mean, how did I do that? And I'd been deaf in 1 ear since the time I was 3 years old. I had a masthead operation. This was 1938. And it deafened me more or less in that ear. Now they clean it up with penicillin in 95% of the cases. But I got to New York, and when I was finishing up college, the dean of students had me and said, "Okay, Walsh, you're going to graduate. We can't stop it. But we want you to know you're graduating with the lowest marks of anyone in 7 years." And, they want me to, I'd been there comfortably over 4 years, and they had me back for the 40th reunion and gave me their Golden Knight Award, the highest alumni award Concord College did. And do you think I modestly did not rub their noses in? So I went to New York, I finished up, and I had a good faculty advisor up there that, said, why do you wait to be 40 and wonder if you should have been an actor? Get rid of it now or find out. So I went to New York, and I went to a school called the American Academy of Dramatic Arts. There's also a branch out here now in L.A. And all they do, it's 2 years. They take anybody with a high school diploma and on, maybe even without a high school diploma. And but I didn't know anything. I'd done theater in high school and prep school and college, and I didn't know anything about what it was. But I got to New York, and for the first time in my life, I was, wow, this is interesting. I spent all my time, saw every play that went on. We used to do what you call second act. You put on a jacket and a tie, and the audience broke for the first act, come out, had a cigarette, you just kind of queue up and go in. It's all an empty seat, and you just see everything. You watch it. I saw Eddie Bancroft do a Miracle Worker with Patty Duke, probably 40 times. Raising in the Sun with Sidney Poitier. I used to watch it. And all actors have to start out and learn. So that was the way I just started to tip sponge, type of thing. And, when I went, let me finish this. But when I went to New York, intellectually, I could, Shaw, Shakespeare, Molière, I could get that. But I said things like, coming down from Vermont, I said things like, Pepper. They said, what? Pepper. They said, what are you saying? What did you want to go and do that for? Pepper. They said, you want to do Shaw and Shakespeare? Yeah, well, they understand me at home. And that's where I started from. I had to figure out what I could do, because it became obvious in time that I wasn't going to be doing Shaw and Shakespeare. So I had to figure out who I was, and that's what actors have